Man, it has been a long wait, but it is finally here. The Analogue Pocket. Is this the best option to play Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games? I personally think whatever you enjoy fits in your budget and doesn't piss you off is the best option. But for sure, I can say the Analogue Pocket has to be the most advanced Game Boy console available. In reality, there isn't too many things that I think are considered actual Game Boy clones. You have things like the GB Boy Color, which does play original cartridges, whatever Hyperkin announced a long time ago that never came to fruition. But most other options people may consider as Game Boy clones are really just handheld emulation devices. Really, there's nothing out there like the Analogue Pocket. It's an FPGA system that's replicating the hardware instead of using software emulation, and it will play your original cartridges just like the original handhelds would. But there's a lot more to it than just that. The screen is really where this thing shines. It has a resolution of 1600 by 1440, which is 10 times the original resolution of the Game Boy Color, and Game Gear. Yeah, you could play Game Gear games as well on this thing if you get the optional cartridge adapter. Now, with these resolutions for the system, you could scale all these consoles to 10 times their original resolution, and it looks amazing doing so. The screen is definitely the star of the show, and with how it is utilized for these games, it's amazing. You have options that will replicate the original handheld's dot matrix look by utilizing the screen's crazy pixel density to amazing effect. It's not simply putting a filter over the screen to replicate the dot matrix. It's not like scanline filters or anything. It's using and utilizing the actual pixels to make the games look how the original screens would have, but just with a way nicer screen. It's really amazing to see and look at close up. Now, the long wait and numerous ways to play these games made me lose a bit of my excitement for the Pocket, but after having played with it for about a week now, I'm just as excited when the device was first announced. That's not to say everything here is 100% positive with my review. There are a few things that could be perceived as negatives, and we'll get more into that in a moment. Now, as far as the build quality goes, the Pocket feels great, and the buttons and D-pads are really good for the most part. The shoulder buttons are similar to that of a Game Boy Advance SP, and they feel okay. Not really sure how else you could do this with this orientation of handheld. I've gotten used to it. Works fine for me. Now, with the D-pad, I have heard some reports of diagonals not being as precise as original hardware. And this is just something that seems to be the norm with non-original hardware and controllers, is for whatever reason, a lot of companies out there have yet to get their D-pads to be perfect replicas. Some do it better than others, and I think for the most part, the D-pad here is one of the better ones. I've not really had any issues with the types of games I've played with this D-pad, but it is worth pointing out that it's not perfect by any means. So going back to the display, each system the Pocket supports has its own color and display options. With the original Game Boy, you only have a few color palettes to choose from: grayscale, mint, blue, green, or purple. There are no custom colors available yet, but will be coming in future updates. Now, these color options are both available in handheld or when docked to play on your TV, but when playing it as a handheld with its own screen, obviously, you do have more display options that are not available when docked. These are the dot matrix style options I mentioned earlier. You get several for Game Boy with the DMG style, the Game Boy Pocket style, and the Game Boy Pocket Lite style. And then there's also this extra oddball display mode called Pinball Neon Matrix, which almost looks like you're playing on a Virtual Boy display. Then you also get the analog Game Boy mode where the dot matrix look is now gone. With the Game Boy Color, you get two display options: the analog Game Boy Color mode or the original Game Boy Color LCD mode, which I actually prefer when playing Game Boy Color games. With Game Boy Advance, you get several display options as well: analog GBA, original GBA LCD, and the original Game Boy Advance SP101, which I think is my preference out of those options that are available. Now, if you don't like the way, some of these options look, you can change saturation and brightness and, whatnot to fine-tune the look more if you so choose. Now, when docked, all the systems have very limited options. There's no mimicking of the dot matrix style or scan line options, nothing like that. For me, currently, the dock is the least impressive thing with the product launch. I'm sure over time it will get additional features, but at the moment, there really isn't much going on here that makes it a more impressive option for those wanting to play Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games on their TV or monitor. Things like Mister, the Game Boy player with the Game Boy interface, the Game Boy consolizer, all those remain perfectly great ways to play on your big screen, with mostly more options available for how the games are displayed. But the one nice thing I appreciated with the dock is its ability to be easily paired with 8-bit-though 2.4 GHz controllers and Bluetooth controllers. Just press the sync button on the dock, put the controller into pairing mode, and in a few seconds it will connect. I like using the smoke transparent SN30 2.4 GHz controller that was made to be used for the Super Nintendo or the Super NT. My opinion, it's one of the best SNES replacement controllers on the market, and it feels great using it with the Pocket when docked. Other controllers can be synced, but they are, a little lacking right now at launch. All the 8-bit-though stuff should mostly work, and a few other select Bluetooth controllers like the PlayStation 4 DualShock controller. I'd imagine compatibility should increase over time, but I'm happy using the 8-bit-though stuff on all my analog products, so not a huge issue for me. Now, enough with the dock. Time to finish up with the Pocket itself, right? Now, inserting carts into this thing, it feels fine. Everything slides in nicely and feels snug. Now, carts should not be falling out or being easily pulled out accidentally with normal use. The system's operating system has your typical settings you would expect, but some things like memories in the library are currently grayed out, but should be added in a near future update. I'm hearing next update should be in January, so we'll have to wait and see what all we get at that time. But for each current supported system, you have your display, audio, and control options available within the operating system. You're also able to use save states in some kind of beta form, but it's just limited to one save only. This should change in the future with that memories function that we just mentioned, but right now with it being limited in use, it's not very practical, but it is very impressive to see save states working with original cartridges. Now, another neat feature is the ability to put the system to sleep while playing a game. So kind of like freezing your game and then turning the system back on and continuing where you were at. That's a nice thing, and it kind of helps with the lack of fully featured save states for the time being. But one thing to note, playing games with an EverDrive, you cannot put the system to sleep. You will be forced to power off instead. Just doesn't work that way. Now, with all my time so far with the Pocket, it is currently my favorite way to play these games on a handheld. If you're someone who loves the Game Boy line of handhelds and likes the features that the Pocket has and the amazing screen quality, I think it's definitely a worthy system to have, as there really is nothing, like it available, not in handheld form anyway. I mean, sure, we have FPGA implementations of a lot of the stuff the Pocket currently supports, and if you don't care about playing on a handheld but prefer playing on your monitor or TV, this may not be the ultimate solution for you. I do think the dock for the Pocket is mostly fine, but, it was kind of a no-brainer just to get it for me. But at the same time, thinking realistically, if all I'd ever do is leave the Pocket docked, I'd most likely go with a different option. But in the end, it's my money, it's your money. You get to choose to do as you please, and whatever way you play isn't going to cause me to lose any sleep or argue with you over it. It's just video games. Enjoy it. I'm enjoying the Pocket, and if you got one, I hope you're enjoying it too. If you're waiting for one, I hope it makes all your dreams come true. Enjoy your time. Appreciate you guys, and with that said, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.